What's good, family? It's your boy Old Soul J. Before you start getting creative, before you start trying to freestyle when it comes to a certain craft, you first must master the basics. How many of y'all have watched an NBA highlight and seen somebody do a move and thought, oh, that looks easy. I could do it. I could do that. The great ones make hard things look easy because they've mastered the basics so well that when it comes to the creative things, the difficult things, when it comes to that craft, they have already passed the part of the basics to where now they could practice the harder parts, or now the harder task or the harder moves, techniques are easier than it will be to the average person because there's levels to it. There's levels to it. There's levels to everything. You cannot go on a court and give a person a basketball who's never dribbled a basketball in their life and tell them to do a between the legs, behind the back, tween crossover, and they never dribbled the ball before. No, first they gotta learn how to dribble with one hand. They probably can't even dribble with both hands. They gotta learn how to dribble first before you start doing all these fancy moves that look easy because it's easy to the person who's doing it. You gotta learn. Walking's easy to the average person, right? That's because we had to learn how to do it when we was a baby. When you was a baby, you ain't know how to walk. You think a baby just sitting down, just watching people walking, thinking like, damn, that look easy, I'm about to just start walking. Nah, they had to bust their ass a couple times. They had to crawl first. How many of us has seen boxers? How many of us has watched a boxing match? I can't tell you how many times I done been with people watching boxing, and then they'll say something like, oh, I'll beat him up. Or like, oh, do this, do that. Why are you not doing this? Because it's one thing to watch it and think that you could do what you're seeing on the screen, but then it's another thing to step in there. It's easier said than done. So if you are practicing a craft, if you're into anything, any art form, master the basics first. The basics, the fundamentals never go anywhere. They're always needed. It's levels. You can't get to the highest level or the higher levels if you don't even know how to do the lower levels. If you can't skip the lower levels. When you play a video game, that shit don't start at level 25. It starts at level 1. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. If you never played the video game before and you start off at level 25, your ass gonna die. You gonna lose. You gonna fail. There's levels to it. There's levels to everything. And this is why experience is the best teacher. This is why in a lot of scenarios, at least when people are playing at a certain level or competing at a certain level when it comes to certain things, the person with the most experience usually comes out on top most of the time. Now, of course, God-given talent, that plays a huge role as well. What type of person do you think you will become if you already have the God-given talent? And then you master the basics. You don't skip any steps. You don't cut any corners. You put the work in to understand how to play the game. That creates an unstoppable player. That creates greatness. Now, I personally believe if you don't have any type of talent at all in something, then you probably aren't meant to be doing that, because we all have talent somewhere. So that's where you should be putting in your effort. That's where you should put in your energy towards, because that's where you have the most potential, if you have some type of love or passion for it, of course. Now, if you have a passion for something and you're good at it, you have no reason, no excuse not to go full throttle. But that's going to lead me on to a different point, into a different video. But just understand this. We see greatness. You see people do great things, create great feats. But we don't see the work that they're putting in before they get there. Those people have mastered the basics. Footwork, fundamentals. I'm referring to sports a lot, but it's not just about sports. The detail is important. Every little detail is necessary for something to be complete. Every piece of a puzzle isn't a complete puzzle. Every painting, every little stroke of paint on that canvas is part of the process, is part of the masterpiece, is part of the artwork. Anything that creates an emotion, anything that has any type of creativity towards it is art. There's an art behind it. So you have to be able to master, and it sounds easy, it might sound silly, but you have to be able to master taking the brush, dabbing it in the water, mixing up the right paints, in stroking the brush on the canvas. Because if you can't do that, what makes you think you could create a masterpiece? You have to master the basics before anything. You can't step in something thinking that, oh yeah, I could do it because I said I can. Just because you got the heart and the fire and the will, yeah, that's going to help you get good at something if you keep working towards it. But that don't make you just naturally good at it just because you believe you are. Be realistic. Yeah. My name Old Soul J, not Unrealistic J. Be realistic. Of course you should believe in yourself. Of course you should have unwavering faith of things. Don't get me wrong. But one step at a time. The details come first. There's no such thing as the flashy creativity without the foundation, the basics, the fundamentals. Make sure those things are mastered. Because if not, then you're never going to get anywhere. And you're going to be wondering, oh, I'm working so hard. I'm putting in so much effort. Why isn't this working? You might have cut some corners. You might have skipped some steps. Always remember, there are levels. Be honest with yourself about what level you're on and take the necessary steps to get to the next level, not the next 10. One step at a time.